This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
homeland stupidity.us.
Dave Ridley here, signing in for RidleyReport.com this February 15th, 2008. A couple developments with the Ron Paul campaign, which I wanted to point at excitedly and express great enthusiasm over. First, Dr. Paul, with his February 11th YouTube broadcast, has, I think, really shown that he is planning to continue leading this decentralized band of revolutionaries long after the election. He's going to have missions for us. This March on Washington looks like the first. Most of this news appeared in Newsweek also, so it's not just like he's preaching to the choir here. He's apparently got the heart to continue this fight long after the convention and after November. To me, I can't tell you how important this is. My biggest fear was that there would not be a clear mission for us. If Paul's chances of winning began to fade, I thought maybe we might begin to fade too. Well, I think now we have a clear mission from him in the form of this march, as well as the continuing campaign activity. And we have a clear signal from Dr. Paul that he is positioning to take on the mantle of America's de facto opposition leader. It means we are almost certain to avoid the fate of the Howardinis, who remained somewhat effective after 2004, but faded for the most part. So I say, rejoice. Even if we lose an election, we have won the movement. A movement I think that will surely be remembered by our grandchildren. The only real danger I can see is if he loses his House seat. That could reduce the energy level some, but who knows. Now, there's something else I want to draw attention to in Dr. Paul's February 11th presentation. He refers to the Paulites as, well, let me see if I can get the exact quote here. Here's what he had to say.
If conditions deteriorate, as I suspect, we have to have a hardcore people who understand these issues, who are able to rebuild the society.
I'd like people to think a little bit about what he's saying there for just a second. Rebuild the society. He is expecting things to fall apart, and if you watch the news, so is Glenn Beck, so are a lot of average people, so are a lot of pundits and economists. Dr. Paul, of course, has suggested for a long time that we will go the way of the Soviet Union and just collapse. And he is saying, he's laying out what may be this movement's mission over the next 5 or 10 years. We have to be the core around which American life can rebuild. That could mean a political core that can elect problem solvers, people who will cut spending and block authoritarian solutions like the ones they imposed in the last depression. It could mean a social core that can step up and help alleviate the economic suffering that's coming. It could mean a material core where some of us are physically prepared for the shortages and for the violence that's likely to accompany an economic collapse. But he is looking to you and me as part of the bedrock upon which American life can be rebuilt. Traditionally, this would be a church role to some extent, I would have thought, but by and large, churches have been AWOL in this recent struggle for freedom. I guess that's consistent with the Christian prophecy in Revelation, where you have a false church in bed with a beast that runs the government. But in any case, we're going to need to step up, regardless of what happens with the presidential election or Dr. Paul's congressional campaign. We are the future in America because we are the virulent, vibrant mass of excitement. As long as we maintain that excitement and stay active, we'll be on track to reclaiming our liberties and bequeathing them to our descendants. So please, stay active in your meetup groups. Stick with this endeavor. See it through to the other side. This is your friend and humble narrator, Dave Ridley, signing off from Manchester, New Hampshire. This is February 15th, 2008.
Hey, this is Glenn Jacobs. And Homeland Stupidity, if you want to get the news of the day and the best opinions, Homeland Stupidity is where you need to be. It's not stupid.